Hey guys, how's it going? Happy New Year. I hope you had a wonderful holiday season. I hope you had a great Christmas. Hope you had a great New Year. Sorry you haven't heard from me for a little bit. I ended up missing my usual weekly upload, unfortunately, and that was kind of because I sort of fell ill around Christmas. Didn't get time to make a video then, and then I had a bit of traveling that I had planned, so I didn't get a chance to make and upload a video. I'm pretty good. Actually, I think it was probably one of the only times since I began uploading weekly that I actually missed. My deepest apologies about that. Probably I'm one of the most upsetting myself because that was one of my goals. Hopefully this year I won't miss any. So this, starting scratch now, I intend to upload weekly. So yeah, hope you'll stick around to watch some of those videos as well. Hope you find these videos useful. Once again, thanks a lot for following this channel. Thanks a lot for checking out these videos. And I really do hope you had a great Christmas and a happy New Year. And I hope 2023 is going to be a lot better than 2022. Let's be honest, can't be much worse, can it? It would take a lot. Let's not test fate. Maybe touch wood. But yeah, this video is going to be a Q&A video. I wanted to try making a Q&A video. I thought it might be quite interesting going forward. If this video is popular, if people seem to find it useful, if people respond well to it on YouTube, then I'll definitely continue to do these, potentially monthly or bi-monthly. In the future, I'd also like it to be a live video. That's what I'm aiming for. I'd love to start maybe regular or semi-regular live Q&A videos on this channel. That would be pretty cool. So yeah, let me know if that's something you think would be a good idea. But yeah, in this video, I'm going to be answering some of the common questions I get left on this channel, some of the questions I seem to get repeatedly left under videos. So maybe if you're someone who feels I've not been responding to you, hopefully I'll maybe touch on some of those questions now. Also, I put out a post on my community page asking any questions, so I'll check that as well now, and we'll go over some of the questions that I got asked on that post about living abroad, specifically in Thailand. That's what I do. If you're familiar with this channel, you know I've lived out here for around 5 years. I don't know everything. I definitely don't know everything by all means. There's a lot. There's a whole library of book worth of things that I don't know and trying to figure out myself. However, I do have some experience, and if I can help you, then yeah, I'd really like that. That's kind of the point of this channel thus far. So without further ado, I'll jump on and we'll have a look at some of the most commonly asked questions I get on this channel, and I'll do my best to answer them for you now. So the first question I get asked a lot, and you can see here are a couple of examples of me being asked it. So can you teach with just a TEFL? Ben, that was one of the questions. And if I have a TEFL with no degree, what are your job prospects? Is it easy, hard, or impossible? Do you know anyone who found work with only a TEFL? So I'm going to answer that last question first. I do actually know one or two people who have been teaching in Thailand without a degree. Typically, they're people who have been working here a while and they've been teaching for a while, and most likely when they started working and potentially stayed at the same school, the requirements weren't the same as they are now, so it was a little bit easier to find work back in the day, or so I hear. So it's not impossible. You potentially will meet some people who are working here without a degree. However, I think it would be very, very difficult to find a job, and I'm not even actually 100% sure it would be legal for you to be working in Thailand without a degree. My understanding is that to get the work permit, in application for the work permit now, you must have a degree, you must have that as supporting documentation when applying for the work permit. So I don't think you'd be able to get the work permit, which means you wouldn't be working legally. So I really don't see any route. I'd say it's pretty much impossible to get a teaching job currently in Thailand without a degree. All right, the next question I'm going to look at is this one. So I have a small question. If you're in Thailand with a visa exemption for 30 days, is it possible to extend this at the immigration office? So if you come to Thailand, if you come here and you enter on a visa exemption, that basically means you get 30 days without the need for a visa, and you're allowed to stay in the kingdom of Thailand. So the two most common ways tourists enter Thailand, especially if you're from the UK, I think it's pretty similar for a lot of countries out there. But the two most common ways that people enter Thailand is on visa exemption. This is as tourists, visa exemption, or they get the 60-day tourist visa. Both of these can be extended by a further 30 days at a local immigration office here in Thailand, without you needing to leave the country. So if you have the 30-day visa exemption, you can extend that a further 30 days once. So that will give you a total of 60 days. And if you've got the 60-day tourist visa, you could extend that also once, I believe, for a further 30 days. That would give you a total of 90 days of being able to stay in Thailand. So the next question I'm going to try and answer for you is this one on the length possible to stay in Thailand on the education visa. So when I stayed on education visa, I was studying for around 8 months, I think, if I remember correctly. And at the time, the school informed me that it was only possible to stay in Thailand for 1 year total, studying the Thai language. Studying different topics does have different lengths. I believe you can get longer lengths on some of the other education visa programs, and that would be studying English, for example. However, if you're from a native English speaking country, you can't then study English in Thailand and get the education visa. But if you're from a non-native English speaking country, you can get the education visa and study English. And I believe you can study that longer than a year, but maybe only a little bit. It's like 1 year and maybe 1.5 years or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember exactly. However, I do remember distinctively being told that if you were studying Thai, you can only do that for a maximum of 1 year. In the past, you could do it for longer. It used to be the case that you could study Thai for 3 years. However, the education visa has been something that has seen a lot of change in regulation over the years. It's becoming more and more difficult to get. It's becoming available in less and less places. So it is something that's very regulated. So yeah, I think you would only be able to study 1 year on the education visa if you're studying the Thai language, that is. So someone asked me, what is the best month to find a job in Thailand? Which month is more easy to find a job? So if you're talking about English teaching jobs, which I would presume you are, the typical summer, although it is different for international schools. However, for private schools and government schools, the vast majority of schools, well, not the majority of schools, let's say, here in Thailand, their summer holiday is in April. So you get April and a little bit off either side. You get the full month and then some as well. So I would say that just before that is the best time to probably be applying for jobs. So that would be in March and April. I would say there's a lot of jobs postings in those months, and definitely that would be the best time to apply and start looking for jobs. You could also get jobs in the October break. People do leave halfway through mid-term sometimes. However, I definitely think that the best time to be finding a teaching job would be in around March and April, that kind of time of the year. Next question, once again, about teaching. What is required to become a teacher there? So in Thailand, the bare minimum requirements are pretty much a degree from a university, from an accredited university, and some kind of teaching certificate, typically the TEFL, the Teaching English as a Foreign Language certificate. So you'll need a university degree and a Teaching English as a Foreign Language certificate, whichever one you choose to do. That's typically the minimum required. You may also need a police background check, well, you will do. You'll probably need one from your home country and one from Thailand. That can be done when you get here. But yeah, if you've got the degree and if you can get the TEFL, then you'll probably be able to find work here in Thailand as a teacher. That's like the bare minimum that seems to be required for any job. Obviously, if you want to be working at the sort of higher end or the more prestigious schools, the international schools, or in areas where there's a lot more competition for teaching positions, you will need to have more qualifications. But yeah, the bare minimum, I would say, is a university degree and a TEFL certificate. All right, so one more question that I had found from below one of my videos was this one, asking me whether schools would still pay for your visa processing if you were doing a visa run situation and were outside the kingdom. So yeah, this one varies. So at my first school, I had to do a visa run to Laos to change the visa before I started working, and yeah, the school did actually fund that, although they part funded it. I probably spent a little bit more, but they gave me some money for accommodation. They covered the cost of my travel. It was only a bus to Laos, so I was in northeastern Thailand, so we weren't too far, and I was given a little bit of spending money also. However, the costs, and they were giving me the cost for the visa. However, there were a few additional costs that I picked up myself, but it was kind of funded. I would regard that as being funded. At the school I work at now, if I had to, which I didn't have to do a visa run when I started working at this school, but if I had to do a visa run, they wouldn't have funded it. They wouldn't have funded my travels or my expenses in doing that. So that does vary from school to school. It is pretty typical that the visa itself will be paid for. That should be the case. However, if you do have to do a visa run, some schools will help you out, some schools won't help you out. All right, let's head over to my community page and I'll now answer the questions that were posted on my post asking if anyone had any questions. So we'll have a see what people have written. What are your tips as cold approaching schools in person to inquire about English teaching vacancies? Cheers. Personally, I'd probably do it online. That's how I found both my jobs. I'd probably start online. There's a website called Ajan that I recommend a lot. I'll leave a link in the description to this video if I remember. I'm sure I will. To Ajan, there's a lot of teaching job postings on that website. That's where I would start. Going in actually probably isn't a bad idea, especially if you live in Thailand already. A lot of schools are really sort of like may find themselves in a bit of a difficult position trying to desperately find a new teacher, has someone quit or left or whatever. And so yeah, it's probably not a bad idea to go around, hand in your CV, at least give your contact details, especially if you like live in a specific area and you're looking for work in that area. Some schools won't post their jobs online, some schools go only through agencies, so it's pretty difficult, but it's probably not a bad idea, only if you're already here. I wouldn't travel to Thailand necessarily just to do this. I'd probably start by looking online at least, but yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea if you want to go in, look for the admin office or look for the English department, drop off your CV, because recruitment is something that seems to be continuous. Lots of people do leave, lots of people are living here temporary. So yeah, it's not a bad idea. I'd probably start online though. And we had someone else ask how to teach with only TEFL. Like I said, I don't know any routes to teach these days with only a TEFL certificate. Any job posting I seem to see requires the university degree as well as the TEFL certificate. Like I said, I think you would probably find it difficult maybe getting the visa and the work permit also if you don't have that degree, if you don't have copies of your degree and the original document in some cases when applying for those. So even if you did find a job in a school, I'm not sure how that would stand within the law. There probably are some people who know more about this than me. There are people who you do see it often online, people claiming that it is still possible. If you go into Facebook groups about teaching English in Thailand, you will repeatedly see this as like a common argument amongst people out here, like people saying no you can't, and some people saying yeah you can. And although it is true, like I have met some people who are working without a degree. Like I said, they've been working here like 10 years, and I think it used to be a bit easier. There used to be a few less requirements. There used to be a lot less foreign expats living in Thailand then as well, so maybe it was more like there was more demand for teaching then. So yeah, I don't know any routes now. Now I will say this, that I've been answering this question as if you're applying for work in a school. Perhaps you could work in a language centre. I don't know if there's different requirements for working in a language centre. That's something I've never done. Maybe that's something I'll look into as well for you, because I do think I know someone who works in a language centre, but so I don't know if the requirements are different. But as far as at the moment, I don't know any routes to teach in Thailand without a university degree and a TEFL as a minimum. That's as a teacher in a school. Well, that does do it for this Q&A. Those are all the questions I have lined up and ready to answer. I'd love to get some feedback on this video. If this is something you enjoyed or found useful, please let me know, because it's something I'm considering doing more of in the future. And like I said, in my head, I imagine doing this on a bi-monthly sort of schedule potentially, and also I'd love to do this live next time if I do decide to do it live. So yeah, let me know. It will vary on how well this video does, if people seem to find it useful or not. If you want to know the story of why I moved to Thailand, then yeah, check this video out right here, because I did make a video not too long ago and I actually quite like this video, and it's all about why I moved to Thailand and the reasons for it and what my experience was moving out here. So yeah, check that video out if you're potentially thinking of moving out here to Thailand.